game is obviously the spin move, and a lot of players like to use it, but now it's obviously become legal in our game now.
Yeah, and the key to this, Tim, is again when the player gains control of the ball. But you may notice that we don't use the term in the rule book. There won't be any reference to zero because it's all about movements. So they still wish to emphasise the fact that it's a 1-2 movement to the basket. So the first gathering when they gain control of the ball with the foot on the floor, that's a 0. Then it's 1-2 to the basket, which is then under the same principles of any travel rule.
Okay, Bill, so just look at the next example coming up here. Perhaps just walk us through this one.
Okay, so if we determine that she gains control of the ball with her right foot on the floor, she puts her left foot back down, which is the first step. She puts her right foot down again, which is the second step, and that's a 2-step movement towards the basket.
As we watch these clips, Bill, I can see the key focus for referees is going to be able to identify the zero step, I guess. But what advice can you give to referees on determining which foot is a zero step?
It's the same principles that we use for travel all over the court, and that is we don't want to split hairs. We don't want people having to look at a game off a video and seeing that somebody has travelled. If you have to look at the video and slow it down, then we will give the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player.
Bill, the next clip is a really interesting one. We'll play it a couple of times, but just really shows how much an advantage the offensive player can get if we're unable to identify where the zero step is.
Okay, here her left foot was the 0. She steps on her right foot, which is 1. She lands on 2, which is 2. And then she takes an additional step, which then makes it 3, which would be illegal. So it's left, right, jump 2. Now she's dead, she can't move. She has now taken an additional step, that's a travel.
The next example is interesting as well, Bill, because the offensive player actually travels as they move into the jump stop. So it's one thing the referee's got to be mindful of as well.
Yeah, you see here that her left foot the first time is 0. She then goes to her right foot, which is 1. She goes then back to her left foot, which is 2, and then comes to a jump stop, which ends up being 3. And then to make it even more, she then takes another step, which would be 4.
Bill, next part of the game,